Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the I Don't Know podcast. Sorry if I seem a little nervous or a little, hesitant. This is different,
Yeah,
with the
we
recording.
didn't do the recording thing.
Yeah, this is. It seems like a different experience. But I'm excited. I am very excited. So let me restart so I can pretty much do the intro. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the I Don't Know podcast. My name is Jordan Ford. I'm here today with my co-host and co-worker,
Joshua Eubanks. What's up?
and today we have a great episode in store for you guys. It's going to get a little deep. It's going to get a little deep because today we will be talking about our childhood, and just how we grew up to get to the people we are today.
Disclaimer, first of all. These headphones, it's
Right.
all we got. All right, don't trip on the Astros.
Yeah, we got to do what we got to do out here in these streets.
For anyone on the YouTube, like chill out, bro.
Yeah, if you're
Second-
listening to this, you have no idea what we're talking about, but
Second, I'm not sure what you can hear from outside, but I live in an apartment. Okay, we got to do this here. I don't have any other way to do this.
yeah.
Like obviously we can't afford to rent a studio every episode.
We appreciate you guys sticking with us through the trials and tribulations of this while we're working out the kinks to get everything right. This is still very new to me. Even though he's made podcasts before, this is still a new situation.
And this is actually, it's still new to me because I've never recorded a podcast. I did that like twice on video.
This is all new to both of us in terms of content creation, even though we both have made things in the past. So just give us time. We're working out the kinks, and we're going to take you through this journey together. This is kind of the whole point of this. We want you guys to be a part of this, feel like, you're sitting and listening to your two best friends talk about complete, nonsense and bullshit.
Yeah.
So we just want it to be a very friendly atmosphere and for you guys to enjoy it. And yeah, speaking of enjoyment, today we are adding a new segment to the podcast for the foreseeable future. At the beginning of every podcast, we will have a album of the week. And we will present the album in some way or form.
Hopefully, obviously we're not going to have a vinyl for every single album
There's no way.
we talk about.
There's no way. But
if we can, I don't know. I think, Anthony Fantano, he, puts a green screen for the vinyl.
yeah, we could do that.
Hopefully we could do that.
It's we can do that for sure. But luckily, he actually has this vinyl, and this kind of works because, as we spoke about in the last video, we are both attending a Quadeca concert very, very soon. And I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to be 100% honest. I'm going to be upfront. I don't know if I mentioned this. I am not that big of a fan of Quadeca. I enjoy all of his music. I've never necessarily heard a song I dislike. I don't follow him as much. And until recently, I started talking to Josh, I haven't checked out his music in depth like I would other artists. And so I did go back and I did listen to this album right here. It's From Me to You. And I enjoy it. I enjoyed it a lot. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I couldn't tell you a single song off this thing. Just from memory, I'd have to go back. As a matter of fact, this has the track list on the back, right?
Yeah, but I could tell you whatever song you're talking about.
Okay. Okay. I'm honestly, I'm just going to go down the track list.
He screwed up the vibe, bro. He took that shit off the couch.
Oh, shit. My bad, guys. It's okay. It's okay. Don't forget. People are also listening to this too. They don't know about the vibe, so they'll be all right. So obviously, Sisyphus was a good one. I actually listened to that song before I listened to this album because Fantano did a review of that song specifically when it came out as a single, and I ended up checking it out, and I like it. It definitely is not what I expected from him. I remember when it came out, it was definitely different from like the SoundCloud rappy, vibe he had going at the time.
The only song leading up to this album that like really had the same kind of energy as this new experimental sound is A Dream I Can't Remember off Voice Memos. And a lot of people wrote that album off, but I mean, I think it still holds up kind of well. But of course I'm probably leaning on nostalgia. Like, I've listened to Quedeca since 2018, and I've been a pretty big fan of his.
Yeah.
But
see, I've never even listened to that album he brought up, so that's just shows you where we're at. Mind you, these vinyls are his vinyls too. So for the first few episodes, you're going to be seeing stuff from him more than me. Until I pull out one, and I think you know which one that I can actually have an in-depth conversation on, and I think you know which one that is. I don't think I have to say it. I don't want to spoil it, though, but you know which one I'm talking about.
I guarantee you I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's keep us going here. Dude,
I mean, if you want to put it back, I can just tell you what the track list is.
You know this whole track list, top to bottom. In order.
Pretty much, yeah.
In order? Do it right now.
It doesn't have to be in order.
Okay, well, I'll name the first 18 songs. I won't.
The first 18?
Yes.
That's the whole album besides the
there's
deluxe.
exactly. So go ahead and name them. Name them all right now. Yeah, you're a Quadeca fan. Name every song. name every
Quadeca song.
Go ahead. I want to see how many you can
get.
get.
First of all, Couleur, that's the intro. I don't know how to say that. It's like a French word, I think.
I thought it was just color.
No, I don't. I don't think so. At least I'm not familiar with the word. You could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Idea. Oh, hold on. Before you go, I have to mention this is a 1 of 1,000 vinyl, by the way, that I'm just like flailing around. Right. This is a piece. This is a beautiful piece.
It's a work of art.
Yeah, it's probably, in my opinion, my favorite vinyl he owns, just because of the fact that it's so rare. Not in terms of music, in terms of just, vinyl quality. Anyway, continue. You named Couleur.
Then it's Sisyphus, which we've already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
The next one is Candles on Fire.
Okay.
The next one is Smiling at the Ground, I believe.
It's not the next one.
It's not the next one?
No.
Okay.
You missed one.
Well, then the next one. Fuck. You a bitch for that. I'll tell you what.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah,
I'll put him on the spot.
It doesn't have to be in order.
No, it doesn't. No, you're good. You're good. I just want to see if you can name. You know what? I believe you. I'll just.
Okay. Is it?
If
entertain me here, okay? Is it Alone Together? Is that the next one?
No.
Shades of Us?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then it should be Smiling After the Ground.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah.
And then is it Alone Together?
Mm-mm.
No.
You're still doing incredibly well. I don't even think I could do this with my favorite album this well in order. I couldn't. So you're still doing incredibly well. I don't know anyone that could name, unless you're like a nerd or like a BTS stan or something. I don't know.
Is it an interlude that's next?
No, it's right before an interlude though.
Okay. Damn. Hold on.
I want to tell you so bad right now. I want to tell you.
But,
if you can get to track 8 at least, I'll spare you.
You'll spare me.
You can get to the beginning of side B. You have 3 songs left to name.
I just can't remember which one
Dude,
is
then
right
just
after that.
why wouldn't you literally just name every song until you hit it? Because you know them. I know you know them.
Okay. Well, I know for a fact that the ones that I know
That you're
aren't
thinking
in that
of
spot.
aren't it? Yeah. You want me to just tell you what it is? Do you want me to just tell you? If you,
Okay, just tell me that next one.
it's Can't You See?
All right. Fair enough. And then
Hold on, time out. I actually really like that song too. I remember that one. I remember that song, Can't You See? I remember liking it a lot. And
it is very good.
the flow
But
into the interlude was great.
My favorite song on the regular album without the deluxe is It's All a Game. It's my favorite song. Should be the 10th track.
15th.
15th. Fuck, that's like really far further. No, number 10 is Burning Bridges. Long Day.
I don't think it is.
Featuring I Don't Know.
I don't think it is. I don't.
Which, you know, shout out I Don't Know the rapper because this is I Don't Know the podcast.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, shouts out. I've listened to a couple of his songs, but
I actually haven't.
you've never listened to I Don't Know?
Just besides that feature.
He I want to say he's made stuff with Cardi and Uno the Activist before. Okay, but as I've said, I can't remember a whole lot. Looking at the sound, set or the oh my gosh, I can't remember words. Looking at the names of the songs really didn't jog my memory as much as I thought it would, but granted, and I've told him this, if I'm listening to an album just to listen to it to have an opinion on it, I genuinely just listen to it front to back and don't even I don't look at my phone, especially if I'm not trying to do like an in-depth review type thing on it. But this one was one of those. I put it in my headphones at work while I was on the way home, just at my house chilling, just so I could get a feel for the album. And I think I could give it a good, nice 7 out of 10 in my opinion. It was good. It was definitely good. Better than just good. It wasn't, there weren't very many blemishes on it. It was just good. It was just good.
Yep.
What would you give it? You know more about it than I do. I need an in-depth review.
I would rate it probably 7 to 8 out of 10. Obviously, it's not a perfect album. Nobody would say that. But in terms of it just shows so much of Quedeca's improvement based on what he did previous to this album. Because, he was considered YouTube rapper. That's all he'll ever be. There's nothing more to his career. But, he made something, proved those people wrong. And then his next album continued to do that 10 times better.
Which is crazy you say that. Because
what I'm gonna say is, from a production musical standpoint, you like this album better than the next album.
yes.
That's just based on your personal opinion.
Yes.
But in terms of musical quality and how he formulated his newest album, it is better quality.
Yeah, and you can say that. I think it's objectively, in terms of composure and what makes music and trying new things and everything in that nature artistically, it is better. But enjoyment-wise, I got more from Me to You than I definitely got from the newer one that I can't remember the name of.
I don't know. But don't get me wrong, for the fact that, Quadeca is like, he's an artist now. He's not a rapper necessarily. But if you were going into that album expecting it to be a rap album, I could understand why you wouldn't enjoy it as much, because you're like, oh, well, this isn't rap. He did rap before this. That's what I wanted from him.
Yeah.
But I personally just I like all types of music, and he does too. But I think just I related to the album more than I did his rap stuff.
It also just resonated with you more, You've seen a lot more of Quadeca's development as an artist more than I have, for sure.
I wanted him to like prove to people where he could go.
Yeah, that I didn't have that. I was like, oh, I'm going to see this guy live. I might need to check out some of his music before I go see him. Like, that was the mentality I was in. And that's also why the reviews weren't as in depth as, something that I would regularly listen to. Because if I'm going to be honest, none of the songs from any of these albums made it in my rotation. They just didn't. Not because I don't like them, and not because they're not good. Just because they're not, like, my favorite, obviously.
They're just
but
not exactly your taste.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say that, because I could recommend somebody this music. I could be like, listen, you want an artist who is versatile, can make ignorant SoundCloud rap and go into some experimental, like, pop / rock ballads. Quadeca's the one, because you can listen to 3 albums by him and it sounds like 3 completely different people. But are any of these songs making it in my daily rotation? No, they're just not.
But let's talk about it though, because we're not even rating that album. Okay, we're talking about this album. This is the album of the week. From me to you. Let's just move off of the topic of I didn't mean to haunt you, because
so for me to you, as I said, gets me a 7. I'm giving it a 7. I guess I kind of just inserted the number rating thing in here. But that's just broad from a listener. I've listened to it front to back probably twice, about 2 times. And none of the songs have I went back and listened to on their own. That's when I learn albums, is when I listen to it front to back and I'm like, this song, I need to re-listen to this, like, on its own, separate from the album. That's when I start learning them. And as I said, none of these songs made it in my daily rotation. None of these made it into anything I would listen to daily. And so I never went back to any of these besides Sisyphus as the only one. And that's because I knew that song before I went into the album. So.
Okay, but why didn't some of the songs?
I can't. Well, okay. One, as I said, told you this, didn't tell them this. I've been on a metal thing recently, too, and so right now, at this very moment,
your rotation is
metal. It's new metal / probably my favorite genre of metal is prog metal. That's what I listen to mostly. So along the lines of Avenged Sevenfold and I guess you could probably slide System of a Down and prog metal ish, but like very popular surface level prog new metal is what I've been listening to recently. So that's one reason. 2, none of the I was listening to the albums front to back, and none of them were really just like this song right here, I need to listen to this again. It's, oh my god, that voice crack was crazy. Again. None of them just like hit me. They didn't leave like a lasting impression on me that made me want to go back and listen to them. Nothing against Quadeca. I'm not dissing him. I'm so excited to see him in person, and I'm ready to see how he performs these songs. But they just weren't my type. They just weren't. And you know it's crazy. I hate to go bounce off of this album and go to something else in his catalog again, but another Quadeca song that I listen to regularly and have been listened to and is my favorite Quadeca song is Beeman. That is my favorite song by him. Not for any other reason besides the fact that it's a stupid SoundCloud nonsense ignorant song. And
so would you say that you prefer that over the other stuff that he makes?
No, definitely not. It's too different.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it does. No, let me explain. Okay. So think of the bar, right? Think of where the bar is set when it comes to these two different genres that he makes. The SoundCloud rap music and the experimental music. Think about where the bars are set. Okay, when you think of the best of the SoundCloud era, and I'm not talking about the ones that like ended up breaking away from the scene. I mean the ones that like stayed in that like ignorant like bubble. You're thinking of people akin to, I would say, like, this is gonna sound crazy, like Lil Pump. You're thinking of people like even like DC the Don or Sad Frosty or Comethazine or just any of those like hype turn up artists that really made that shit all the time. That's all they made. They didn't really switch it up. So the bar there, to be honest, is very low. Quadeca's a great artist. And so when he makes stuff like that, it's really good versions of that. And so it resonates with me higher in my mind. But then when we talk about experimental music, you're talking about the bar being like JPEG Mafia, like Death Grips, like just like these like, this is going to sound so fucking pretentious. These like, hold on.
I get where you're going, but I wouldn't put him in those artist categories.
It's not, and he's not. It's really
his experimental music is more true experimental music. They make experimental rap more.
Yeah, but
he's got a folk experimental vibe. He's like Bon Iver.
Yeah.
And things of that nature.
Yeah, and then like, even then the bar there is so high. And I'm not saying he's not there. That's not what I'm saying. But why would I listen to his experimental music when there are people who have done that worlds better over and over that I have been listening to forever? And why would I add that to? And especially since his experimental music is newer. Beeman's been out for half a decade. I know that song by heart, pretty much word for word. I mean, it's a simple, easy turn up song. You know, that song resonates with me more. Do I prefer that more? No, I don't. I wouldn't say I prefer it. That's not the word I would use, because that's kind of implying that I think it's better. I don't. I think that
I don't say no. Preferring something doesn't necessarily have to be a synonym to it's better. Because like I said, we had this discussion about Apple Music and Spotify. I personally think that Apple Music has better features, but I prefer to use Spotify. Just because I like the aesthetic more. That doesn't mean I think either one is better than the other one, honestly. But, you know, preferences are different from, this should be higher than the other one.
That's a good point. So, I guess, yeah, then
you prefer Beeman because it's what you want to listen to. But you don't necessarily think that it's a higher quality song than other things that he's made.
Thank you. Yes, you worded that. Yeah. What you said is correct. So, yes. Yeah. So I guess I do. Yeah. I definitely prefer that in terms of his catalog. But I don't. But to answer the main question I think you were asking, which, correct me if I'm wrong, was if I preferred that style of his music to the style of his experimental. No, because there's that one song that I like, and there's a few. If I could remember the names, I can't, or how they sounded, which I can't, that I like more. Which is, no, it's funny because that's like the only two things about songs you need to remember is the names and the way they sound. Like, that's how you identify a song. That's like, yeah, I remember that guy from the bar, but I don't remember what he looks like or what he sounds like or how tall he was or what car he drove or what he was drinking. But anyway, I digress. There's definitely more of his experimental music that I like more than most of his SoundCloud era sounding music. So, yeah. Like, I think I like Sisyphus more than I like, well, no. I think it's a better song. I don't like it more though. I don't know. I guess I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? Conflicted on this topic. Maybe I need to listen to more. Maybe I'm not.
I don't think any of this podcast is going to be about
I swear, dude, y'all are never going to learn about our families.
Nah,
dude.
we're just going to make this like an hour and a half.
Yeah. I mean, who cares? Who said we have to have certain lengths? Like, nobody. Like, we can do whatever you want. This is just a conversation.
I want to try it minimal on an episode 45, but like as long as the vibe keeps rolling, I don't really care how long it goes. As long as we can get to a point that like feels right to end it at.
Facts. Well, I feel like we gave a pretty good discussion about the album of the week. Do you think so?
Well, I think we gave a good discussion about the topic of music, not necessarily this album.
It'll be okay. I don't know much about it anyway, so it's not like anything I could have said would have been.
My final regards to it is that I think this album, From Me to You, was a cornerstone in his career.
Ooh.
Like, this is when people started to take him seriously as an artist. Before that, it was like, yeah, this music is good, but where's he going to go from here? And I love this album. I've listened to it probably 1,000 times or more, front to back, since it came out. You know, it's been out for 2 years already.
Yep.
And you have your own preferences, but if you liked the music, I don't understand how you like decide whether it's going to be put into your rotation or not. Because when I hear songs, if I like it, I'm going to come back to it at some point. Like, it may not be daily rotation.
Well, yeah, so to explain that to you, I don't decide. It's just what happens. So, not to say it will never come back. And as a matter of fact, I kind of now after this plan on going back and re-listening to them, each song, and doing more in-depth work on it on my own. But it's not really a decision. It kind of just happens. And I have no idea if it will return, or not to say it will never, ever be added to anything I listen to ever again or be played ever again through my headphones. As of right now, and as of the listening of it, no. None of it's been listened to since I've listened to the album front to back. But not to say it won't. But I'm not going to act like I don't see it not doing that still, even when I go back and listen to the songs more. So my sound's good? Okay, because the light wasn't blinking when I was talking, and it kind of spooked me.
Yeah, sometimes that thing does that, but I would focus more on the MacBook than the audio interface.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. Do you want to get into the whole childhood thing that we were going to talk about now?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if we don't, this is going to be a 3-hour long episode. Because that almost seemed like he was finna go into a whole nother discussion. Dude, it's that one thing you'll realize about us is we love music.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
huge music fans. Huge.
The way I listen to music, okay, is like I have a bunch of different playlists, and depending on my mood, I'll put on a playlist. But the fact is that this whole album, those songs are in a playlist somewhere. Whichever playlist it is, I don't know, but it'll get listened to because I'm constantly at work listening to music, and one way or another, no matter what playlist I'm listening to, or if I'm listening to a song on shuffle from Spotify when it does the radio thing for you.
Yep.
Like, if I like a song, it's going to end up getting listened to multiple times because, like, I just have everything that I like is there.
That makes sense. Maybe I should start making playlists. If I find it hard too. But anywho, that was the album of the week from Me to You by Quadeca. Quadeca, if you're seeing this, I'm excited to see you. You probably won't, but I'm excited to see you. June 6th. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you're going to tear the house down. And the episode after that concert, we will definitely be going over the concert. That might actually...
It'll be, like, it could be its own podcast.
Yeah, because it's probably going to be an experience, dude. It's going to be. Anyway.
My last question. Okay, I've said how I listen to music. What do you usually do, like, when you throw something on?
So, good question. Now, I'm a bit of a psychopath because I don't use playlist at all. The only playlists I will listen to are a randomly curated playlist. Why? I kind of like to be excited or surprised when I listen to a playlist. It's kind of my way of... I like the anticipation of a song coming up that I wasn't planning on listening to coming up next that I didn't pick. Now, I will queue up songs if a song comes in my head that I'm thinking of, but most of the time I'll like... And by the way, I use YouTube to listen to music, which isn't the best, but I have free YouTube Premium, and it's kind of like a 2-in-1. So I use my YouTube app. I don't use YouTube Music. It's useless if you have the YouTube app. So I use YouTube for videos and music, and it's kind of like an all-in-one. It's great.
Bro out here thinking he a rapper. He doing the hand ad-libs.
Anyway.
Well, a lot of people talk with their hands. I mean,
yeah,
I do sometimes.
You're doing it right now.
Yeah, I am doing it right now.
So, anyway, yeah. So I pretty much go on there, and it's either the YouTube mixes, which most of the time are just songs you've already listened to, and they're in your history. So nothing too surprising, but after it gets past the parts you've already listened to, then it starts switching it up. Either that, or I just listen to other people's playlist. I'll look up a specific vibe I'm trying to look for. Like, last time I was at work, I was listening to a prog metal playlist, like the best of progressive metal. And I just press shuffle on that. Now, it's funny because I say the words rotation and daily rotation a lot. I don't have a rotation necessarily, now that I really think about it. What I mean, I guess, more is this first song I'm going to play. Because most of the time, it's pick a song, whatever plays after that song is what happens. Or pick a playlist, whatever happens in that. You know, I will go through a playlist and pick the first song and then shuffle the playlist and let it play randomly. But I don't have my own playlist. Might need to start doing that, though. Maybe.
I feel like I definitely do have a daily rotation. Because, like, I usually end up listening to the same shit every day. But every, like, month or two, that rotation will change, and then I'll end up listening to a new type of the same shit every day.
Bro, I have a
So like for the past month, I've been listening to Juice Leaks every day.
not you admitting to listening to Juice World Leaks on YouTube and on every streaming service.
As if nobody else in the fan base
Yeah,
does.
okay, yeah, I do too. So, so I have an idea. I propose an idea.
I'm just saying, if it's on Spotify, I'm listening to it.
I propose an
What's
idea.
your idea?
Josh?
Yeah.
I think me and you both make either. I think you use Spotify, right?
Yeah.
You should make a Spotify playlist, and I, since I use YouTube, I should make a YouTube playlist, and yours could be called Josh's Daily Rotation. Mine could be Jordan's Daily Rotation, and we could link them both in the description of these.
Oh, so they can like
Yeah.
hear what we're
Get
listening
an
to?
idea of what we got, literally, and they can see it in a physical form, what our daily rotation is.
Are we gonna like update the playlist every day?
Just as much as you want. I mean, just add songs that you want, that you think are, I guess, worthy of your daily rotation necessarily. Just throw them into a playlist, and I'm going to listen to mine. You don't have to like use yours to actually be your daily rotation, but if you have a song that you realize like, hey, I listen to a song like almost every day and it's like one of my favorite songs, throw it in there, and we'll have like a 200 song playlist of just things that we like. And mine's going to be a hodgepodge of random shit. I don't know about yours, dude. Mine's going to be like Michael Jackson, Slipknot, and Lil Uzi Vert just all in one playlist. Crazy. Yeah. So with a little bit of Panic at the Disco, and like those are all my favorite. Gorillaz, Rex, Orange County, Tyler the Creator. It's gonna be a bunch of random shit, and I feel like it'd be another way to make y'all more invested in us as your homeboys, your best friends here at the I Don't Know podcast.
I would literally just pull up what I usually listen to right now and just show you, but you know, we're recording on my phone, so can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that. Can't do it. Okay. We have to talk about the topic now.
Yeah.
We have to.
We're about to approach the 40-minute mark.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The side tangents are going a little crazy today, but it's okay. It's called a good conversation.
Hey, exactly. Like,
it's called a good conversation, so who cares?
You can't expect. This is informal, you know. Like
that's kind of our thing. I don't know if y'all have realized it by now. We not much for the formal, you know, like super. Oh my God, I think that is my phone's alarm going off in the next room.
Okay.
Should I go grab that real quick? Probably. I think Patrick just stopped my alarm for me.
What was the alarm set for?
It was for me.
Huh?
It was for me to wake up to take my wife to work. But I wake up at 8 a.m. every day, so why do I have that set?
Well, I mean, if I'm sure if you wanted it, you could just yell at him to bring it to you.
Patrick, can you bring me my phone?
Sorry, my roommate is gonna bring him his phone.
You weren't asleep, were you? That would have been so fucked up.
He's off. Wait, no, you're not. I'm off. We don't have the same days. I'm stupid.
Shout out to Patrick. Brought me my phone. You were a real one for that, bro. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Special guest appearance, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So now that we can't ever get to start to talk about this. All right. So I think we start.
Oh, my phone. What do you want?
Y'all can plug my podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess. Should we do that?
It's too late now. We might as well. It's too late now. We can't just not. He brought me my phone, dude.
All right. Well, my roommate Patrick, he's got his own podcast. Okay, you better plug us too, though.
Yes. Yeah, you better.
It's called Outrageous. We'll have to link it because I don't think you can just look it up.
Hey, what's the tagline of the podcast? It's the dubious something.
Indubitably out of line.
Okay, yeah, outrageous. The Indubitably Out of Line podcast. Go check it out on everything.
Yeah, but the tagline isn't in the freaking title.
It's
so
not. It's not. But you'll see it when it's in the if you
If
look
you
it
look
up.
all that up, it's in the first episode's name, so I'm sure you can probably
Yes.
find it.
So go check it out. Go check it out. We'll put it in the description
there. All right.
or something.
Now can we breeze past that to get to the topic?
Yes. I think the best way to start this
All
conversation.
right, I'll just ask you a question. Okay. How many siblings do you have?
Good. That's a good way to start. So, to start off, none of my siblings are full siblings. They're all half. My mom and my dad, they only have me together. My dad has
So you're the oldest?
no. So okay.
What?
So
Okay.
so I have my oldest sibling is 20 something. Like I've never met her. Her name's Elise. And it's my dad's.
Oh, you just gonna name drop your sibling?
Yeah, it's my. I don't. That'll be all right. That's my dad's first child, and I've never met her. As I said, my dad's second child. His name's Dalen. That's my older brother, my oldest brother. Then my mom has a older son older than me. Her first son named Micah as my oldest brother. Then I have two little sisters named Kendall and Kennedy that are twins, and those are my younger siblings. So I'm technically, on my mom's side, I'm a middle sibling. On my dad's side, I'm a youngest.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I have 6 siblings. Wait.
That don't add up.
Yeah, 6. 4 sisters. Well, wait. I almost forgot. I have
Hold on.
2 sisters I've never met. Oh, yeah. The other one is like 6 months older than me. Her name's Jaden. I've never met her in my life. It's also my dad's kid.
That's weird.
Dude, you're finna learn a lot about me. Y'all all are. It's finna get deep.
Yeah, y'all too.
And this is gonna be on the internet forever. But I don't care. This is gonna get as personal as I can get it. So, how many siblings do you have?
I only have 2.
Wow, way to shit on me. Wow.
I mean,
do you feel?
other than I don't actually have any half siblings, but apparently, okay, so I was like tricked into thinking that I had a half sister, but apparently it was just a previous marriage. My dad like helped raise those kids, and he got back in touch with her.
Wow. That's crazy.
So I was like 13, and I was being told, "Hey, do you want to go meet your half sister while I'm over at my friend's house?" And I'm like, "It's like 10 o'clock at night. What are you gonna do? Come over here and get me?" Anyway, didn't end up meeting her, and then my mom ended up telling me like last year that that wasn't even my half sibling. So yeah, I only have 2 siblings.
Wow. So where are you age wise compared to your siblings?
I'm the youngest.
Youngest. Okay. So do you have what like go in depth? I did. It's your turn.
Okay.
You don't have to name drop them though if you don't want to.
Well, I mean, okay, my brother Caleb is 27. Technically, he'll turn 27
Damn.
in June. And my sister is 25, 26 already. 26, yeah.
Damn, you're way younger than your siblings.
It's just how it happened, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine. It's fine. But okay.
I mean, your sisters are way younger than you.
Well, yeah, they are. So let us go in depth. I think the next logical question Tell me about your parents, your mother and your father, and tell me leading up to your birth how they were and how they met and how you happened, if you know, if you have knowledge of the situation.
I mean, I know. I personally don't really want to say all that.
If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's completely up to you. I
Sorry,
will.
I farted.
Real shit. Just like in my vicinity, like just
I didn't know that was gonna come out of me.
damn. Speaking of stuff coming out of you, I need those secrets to come out of you right now. I'm kidding. Do you want? You know what? Let me go. Let me lay this out. I'm gonna tell you about my parents and about the moments up to my conception, and you will, if you want to, you can. You don't have to. So, my mom was born 82. She was raised by, obviously, my grandma and my grandfather, who ended up splitting shortly after. To be honest, my mom had a very traumatic life growing up. A lot of bad things happened to her that I'm not going to go too in depth with, to things I'm not going to share. And just wasn't great. By the time she turned 18, she had my brother with a not so great person. 3 years after, she had me. And she's essentially, most of my life, had a drug problem that she is now recently, which is why I'm okay with sharing this much, rehabbing for. And so she is getting better actively. So I'm obviously by her side with that, and I'm able to help her through that as much as possible. But that's been a thing I've lived with my whole life, is my mom dealing with that. My dad, obviously raised by my other grandparents, was the oldest of his siblings, two little sisters, and, you know, he was kind of in that older brother role with his two sisters, kind of how I am with mine. It's kind of weird because I didn't have the greatest relationship with my father, and he didn't have the greatest with his. And he ended up leaving the house early, kind of how I did. And he met my mom due to some illegal circumstances, if I'm going to be honest. He ended up doing a long time in prison while I was younger, because he was doing things not so great that I don't want to get into, obviously. But that's how he met my mom, was through those things. I assume that's what I've been told. I wasn't there, obviously, so I have no idea. And I ended up being born while they were together, and here I am. So,
Well, you know, I mean, I can tell you about my parents. It's just,
you don't have to, dude. Like, if you do not feel comfortable, you do not have to. I don't. It's not gonna. None of them, none of us, none of your community here is going to bash you for not sharing, private details about yourself that you've never shared on the internet before. Nobody. This is a safe space, dude.
yeah, I just don't want, like, people to think that a certain aspect of my parents' relationship is, like, a bad thing, I guess.
That makes sense. Just don't share it then, man. That's okay.
Okay.
It's up to you, though. So, we will skip.
I can just, like, weed around that.
Okay. I did the
that
same
one
thing.
part. So, my mom, she didn't really have the greatest home life either, but I wouldn't say she ever got, like, abused or anything from what she's told me. It's just, I think it's kind of a thing where, her parents weren't necessarily able to afford kids, so they tried their best, but it was just they weren't necessarily ready, and they kind of took that out on their kids. And then my dad, he didn't ever know his dad, so I don't know my real grandpa. And then they ended up meeting. I'm not really sure what the circumstances were on that, to be honest. But they had my brother right after they got married, and then my sister a year later, and then me.
A fucking decade after. A fucking millennia after they had their other kids. They were like, you know what? Part 3. Let's make this a trilogy.
Star Wars.
Alvin and the Chipmunks. That's what I think of when I think of, obviously, because, you got the Squeakquel. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best trilogy in all of cinema. Obviously, it's the live action Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. They should have made a third live action Garfield. That would be the best.
Yeah.
Anyway,
my favorite part of Garfield. Okay, you mentioned it, so I have to say.
Okay, yeah. Go off.
When he's got the lasagna tray down the stairs, he's grinding that bitch. That's my favorite part of Garfield.
Bro. Underrated movies, dude. Honestly, people hate them. And they're stupid.
That's part of our childhood, so it's technically within the topic.
They're stupid and corny, but they're peak. I've seen them on, I think, Cartoon Network like 1,000,000 times. So, okay. So, I guess we go into our younger years, as much as we can remember from being, I guess, an infant to, I don't know, just childhood still. I will start. So I was born in 2003. I'm currently 19 years old. I'll be 20 in June. And as I mentioned earlier, when I was younger, I was around 2 or 3 years old when my father got locked up for a long time. But in between that time, he had been getting locked up pretty consistently, going to jail and stuff regularly. Nothing against him, not to knock him, but it happened, so I'm going to talk about it. Living with my mom and my brother at the time, me and my brother kind of became best friends. We just lived our lives, man. We weren't poor, or we were poor. We didn't have a lot, but my mom always found a way to get us what we wanted. I can't remember a Christmas I didn't get what I want. My mom always was there. I don't know how she did it on her own. She really did. So growing up and living in those poor conditions, but having a support figure, a support system as good as my mother really helped me just become a very creative, a very outspoken person. My mom always supported my interest and would try to get invested in them as much as possible, especially because I hyperfixate over things due to some mental issues I have, and she would always go all in birthdays and Christmases related to those things. Even if she knew I was going to become uninterested in them in the next 2 months, she would still just go in. And despite all of this, my mom was battling severe issues. I mean, just the drug thing, and having to raise 2 kids on your own at the age of 21. It's a lot. It's a lot on a person. It really is. And so, despite the bad things she's done, I'll never hold that against her, ever. And even though I can't say that I haven't done the same with my dad, I'm starting to learn not to do that with him either, and just forgive. Especially now that recently I've started talking to him again, even though I haven't talked to him in almost 2 years. I just started talking to him again, so that's a new development there.
How would you say that new development is going?
So far, it's good. I'm supposed to go to his house for the first time and since forever. Coming up this Tuesday, and I saw him while I was actually at work, and I was gonna just run away. To be honest, like I was just not gonna talk to him.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, I gotta at some point go talk to this man. This is my dad. I gotta not make things right because as I'll get into later, he definitely fucked up. But I can't hold grudges. I can't do it. I have to, try and mend it. And if he doesn't want to forgive me for the things that I've done, then I tried. I've forgiven him at this point. So, yeah. You got any input?
I think it's, him as the parent, it shouldn't be on you to, like, fix things between y'all. But
Yes.
obviously there's some effort that has to be made by you, but also, like, it's good that you have the mindset that you do, because a lot of people, like, most people, if they have a rough relationship with their parents, they don't really want to do anything about it. But then, they end up having regrets later in life that I'll never get to use the time wisely because I've already wasted it all.
Yeah.
It's better to forgive and move on. But, like, there's also got to be a level of distance if the other person isn't willing to, like, let things go and try and heal.
So, if I'm gonna be 100% completely honest with you, I'm not exactly trying to mend me and my dad's relationship. That's not my goal with him talking to him. My goal is for him to know that I still, everything he's done to me still happened, and he needs to know that, and I know that. But as a person, I don't hold it against him. I don't. You still fucked up bad, and I haven't even gone into it yet. You have no idea. I haven't even went in. Him going to prison wasn't it. Like, there's more. Trust me, and it's gonna get brought up. But that I don't hold that against him anymore. I'm not angry about it anymore, but it still happened. And just because I've forgiven you doesn't mean, I'm going to start hanging around more. Doesn't mean any of that. Just know that I don't hate you. I love you. And, you can think whatever you want about me, but my mind's made up now. And I've moved past being angry, because holding grudges and holding that does nothing but take years off my life.
I understand what you're saying, but I also think that it's like, if he's trying to do better and be, like, more involved, I feel like you should give him the opportunity to do that. If you're saying you don't want to.
I've tried. As I said, you're gonna learn a lot in a little bit. This isn't the first time this has happened. Since he's been out of prison, it's a long winding road. So, speaking of which, you don't mind if I, keep going into that, or do you want to speak?
Oh, well, the only thing I have to say is that, like, obviously I have no context yet, so if it is that bad, like, it's warranted.
It is.
I'm saying, like, oh my god, We're not gonna talk about it.
Most people told me not even to go back and talk to him. Most people are like, you should just never talk to him again. I made this
But-
decision on my own.
But that's what I'm saying is like, until, sorry, the video is now gonna get screwed up. I'm gonna kill myself.
And dude, I just heard your mic buzz too.
Yeah.
Everything is
I want to die.
everything is ruined now. Every single
well.
thing.
Oh well. This is part of the.
It's still
Fine.
recording. You don't have to do that, do you? It's not gonna.
I want to see it though.
Well,
Well, now we gotta fix this. Either way. Come on. Oh my god. I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot. Why did I even touch it? Can you? You do it. You figure it out. This is gonna be so stupid. All right.
oh my god, y'all are getting so much more table now. You can see our dumbass
We're-
reflections.
We're gonna eventually try and get a tripod so that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Let me.
Oh, why is the freaking pop socket on? Ow.
Oh, we're not great at this
Okay.
podcasting thing,
Okay.
huh? We're not too great at this. So
We just don't have the equipment for this. shit.
we don't. I forgot where we were exactly, but would you like me to
Well,
continue?
Okay, what I was saying is, like, I don't know. The damage can't be undone, obviously. But I just think, like, you don't want to spend your life, like, you're young now, so the time is gonna feel like, oh, it doesn't matter. But when you get older, like, I'm already starting to feel it. Like, I'm not that older than you, but what I'm saying is, like, I feel like the time that I'm not spending on trying to, like, get my parents to understand that how I feel is, like, what's impacting our relationship. Like, I'm already feeling like I should be doing more to, like, get things to where they should be, I guess.
So
But if you genuinely can't do anything about it, like, there's no point in wasting your time on it. But
exactly.
I don't think you should shut him out.
So
It's just,
so sometimes people just won't understand, and that's human nature. I'll go into that more later when I get to the whole part about me living with my dad and how that was and how that led to today. But so pretty much live with my mom most of my younger years, and by the time you know, I was a bad kid. Fought all the time in school, like literally all the time. Until basically I hit puberty was when I stopped, because I realized that you can't get bitches if you're in ISS all the time. You just can't. There's no bitches in ISS, bro. There are no hoes.
why is that the issue?
Because I was horny, bro. I was an 8th grader, and I was just hitting puberty. I wanted girls, bro. That's all I wanted. And so I pretty much was like, okay, I'm going into my 8th grade year of school. Or no, I was going into, 7th to 8th grade. I was like, all right, I'm finna be a high schooler. I need to establish a personality and a thing that I do that separates me from other people and makes me popular. That's all I was worried about. While I was developing that, pretty much over my 7th grade year summer going into the 8th grade, my mom ended up getting arrested. And so for my summer, I had to move to Alabama to stay with my aunt. While I was down there, it was hard for me to do that, develop that personality that I wanted to develop going into my 8th grade year. And I was lost because I had no idea what was happening. I didn't know if I was going to stay in Alabama for the rest of my life, if my mom was going to get out and get me. I knew nothing, and I was lost. I was very lost. And so what ended up happening was I ended up coming back to Texas, and my dad happened to have gotten out of prison by that time, and I ended up moving in with him and my grandmother in a 1-bedroom apartment, and I lived there for a while. So the thing about that is I now know that I have what is called identity disturbance, which is a symptom of BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. And I find a very hard time finding identity and finding self within myself. Like I feel like I mold to other people's personalities other than having my own, and I can't help it. I do it all the time. And that's why I tend to lose motivation. I tend to forget things that I'm not interested in at the time. Why I tend to drop interest and drop things like that. The only things that normally stay consistent with me are music, and that's really it now that I think about it. Besides core things, there's things that I do that I wouldn't give up for any personality trait that I pick up. For example, I love wrestling. I know that is a guarantee. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I love wrestling. And so no matter what personality traits I pick up along the way or drop, I will always like wrestling. Music, always like music. Those are things that I know for a fact I like. And moving in with my dad, and my dad being raised in like an old school kind of home where, you know, you're becoming a man now, so you got to start doing this and this. Like, when I moved in with him, he went through all of my clothes, and anything that had like Pokemon or Batman on it, mind you, I was 14 years old, 13, turning 14. He threw it all away, all of it. He was like, "You're too old. You don't need this stuff anymore. Like, none of this is kid stuff, you know." So
13 is a kid, bro.
yeah, I know, but and it would be things like he would argue with me about he told me one time, so mind you, I was raised by a woman up until that point, which doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything. Like, I was putting on my deodorant like this through my shirt, and he was like, "That's how women put on deodorant. You need to lift your shirt up and put your deodorant on. You're not a woman." I was like, I didn't know I was going to grow a vagina from putting my deodorant on this way.
Like, who's going to see that?
Yeah,
Me.
who cares?
Me. I'm going to see it.
Who gives a shit?
No one else is seeing how I put on deodorant.
Exactly, and no one's going to say, no one but you. If maybe he would have came at me with like, "Hey, don't do that. You're going to stretch your shirt, your neck of your shirt." Okay, that makes sense. Not saying,
There's a woman.
yeah, you fucking pansy. You're gonna grow a set of tits doing that shit. But that's what it was like. I ended up joining football in that year.
Did you even want to?
No,
I didn't think
No.
so.
but I was good at it because it's a natural thing for me.
Yeah, parents tend to like live vicariously through their children and
Yeah.
strong-arm them into doing things they don't want to do.
And my dad went to the same exact school as me and played football, so he forced me into it. And anytime I talked about quitting, he would like literally threaten to beat the shit out of me. But one thing about my dad is he never did. He never put his hands on me as an adult, or not as an adult. Since he went out as like a teenager, he whooped me when I was like a little kid, but he's never put his hands on me since. I can say that about him. He's never done it. And he says because his dad beat the shit out of him when he was younger, he didn't want to do it to me. So, you know, lucky me, I guess.
Why even threaten it, dude?
Yeah, right. So,
You could, I mean, it's probably good that you probably didn't do this. Like, I mean, you could have been that badass baby kid being like, "Well, I know you ain't gonna do it."
no, see,
But
you want me to tell you why I've never done that? My dad is 6'4", almost 300 pounds. He is twice my size, and I'm pretty big. He would beat the fuck out of me if he could.
that's what I'm saying. Cause like, even though he says he wouldn't, if you were to do something like that, it would likely push him over the edge. Like,
That's what I always thought. I thought that everything I did never was that bad, but hold on, I'm finna get into that. It's finna get good. You're finna learn, dude. So anyway, I lived with him my entire 8th grade school year, and that's also when I picked up music in terms of making it. Like started making rap music. None of it was good, but that was something I was really passionate about and something he didn't care about. All he cared about was me playing football. That was his main concern all the time. He didn't care I was in band or that my grades were good or nothing. It was always football. When I get in trouble, it's if you keep getting in trouble, you're not going to be able to play. It's da-da-da-da-da. So another thing he did was he would insult me to people to make fun of me and then use my accolades and things that I had done to bolster him, like to boost himself. So he'd be like, oh yeah, this boy, all he wanted to do is play the game and eat snacks all day. He don't do nothing, but he damn good on that football field though. He got that from me. Like that shit. Like he would do that with literally everything.
that is just so terrible.
And it was miserable. My only support system at the time was my grandmother I live with, and I love her so much. She was very helpful and supportive through everything that happened. And I think that, coupled with the second time that I lived with him, there's 2 times, really was where I developed a lot of my mental issues. So I was forced into a personality essentially when I started 8th grade, other than deciding what I was was used to moving schools at that point because I had moved to so many. And so I was like, okay, I'm ready to make a whole new, have these people, I want to be popular. So I'm going to, build this almost identity around, trying to do that. My arm is dirty
Okay,
as hell.
so I have a question that's like related to that.
What's up?
Do you think that you developed your disorder through these experiences, or just you always had it?
So it's hard to say. I know that now more than ever, I am having the worst time with it as an adult. It's a constant battle every day. But when I was younger, as I said, I hyperfixated over things, but I would quickly lose interest in them and bounce to the next thing. But now as an adult, it's like I hyperfixate on something for like a few hours and then hop on to the next thing. And I do it like in quick succession instead of like when I was younger, like Ninja Turtles would be my thing for the year, or Michael Jackson. I had a Michael Jackson phase as a little kid. Crazy. Michael Jackson would be my thing, or Naruto would be my thing, or no. Now it's literally like I could see a video on TikTok and it will switch instantly, and I can't even help it. Or someone will say something to me that will upset me. Bam, switch into something else, and it's a constant struggle all the time. You know what's crazy? You know why I went on my little metal kick that I just went on? I watched a clip of this animated YouTube series called Metal Family. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's sick. It's dope. You should watch it.
All right.
And that literally, my brain was like, oh, that's your personality now. Bink. And I started listening to metal music again.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So that's how that happens. It's literally like, and I've already snapped out of it. You texting me made me switch. Literally, like,
so like
anything.
Would you say that you feel like you're in podcast mode?
That's
like you got.
That is the funniest fucking podcast mode.
Because like this is the thing that you're hyper fixating now on.
You know what's crazy?
At this moment.
What's crazy is right now in this moment, I feel less like I'm hyper fixating over something and more that like I'm in a natural situation, which is rare. I hope that makes you feel good about yourself. You make me feel relaxed. So this feels like because I feel comfortable talking. And that's kind of why I wanted to keep this DIY aesthetic about our podcast.
Yeah.
Is because I want this to feel like I'm having a conversation with a big group of friends and you know? And that's what this feels like. This doesn't feel like work. This doesn't feel like content creation. It feels like a great conversation.
Yeah, like, okay, one of my favorite podcasts is Tiny Meat Gang, and this is no shade to them, but, and they kind of acknowledge this fact, like, they did their 5-year anniversary special episode, where they went back to the first apartment they ever started recording the podcast to, and they were like, this feels way more natural than the spaceship does, because their joke now, obviously they're not in a spaceship, it's just a set, but everything about their podcast is like centered around the fact that they're like in a spaceship now and they're podcasting in space. But it's like, I don't ever want to get to a point to where, like, there's a hair on this thing and it's bothering me. I want this to always feel like this, no matter what. I don't want, like even if we got big and got money, I want to do it in a setting like this with equipment that it's like this is how I want the podcast to be. I don't ever want to get like a production team and have them like do this for us and we're gonna hire a market manager or whatever. It's gonna be us two. Like, this is our shit. This is what we do. I don't want it to take it to a team management level.
Facts. Because at the end of the day, my main goal in life is to work for nobody. And if we end up doing that, it will make it feel like that we are, I mean, you being stuck in dead-end jobs now, we feel that more than anybody, And when this becomes successful and something we can bolster a career off of,
he's saying when. He's guaranteeing it.
When. This will be one of the greatest things that's ever happened to us, because we'll be working for ourselves. I don't want this to ever feel like a job. I want this to feel like, authentic. I want you guys to be in this with us,
Yeah.
and love our personalities, not anything else about us. Just a couple bros on a couch. I want it to stay like this. Even if we get a set, I want the set to be the vibiest, like the coolest, chillest set. I want like tech decks on the desk and fucking a PS2 loaded up in the background with like Mortal Kombat.
I'm not saying I don't want a studio, but what I'm saying
or
is,
better equipment, because we do want better equipment.
Yeah, I want everything to feel like it's what we made it.
Authentic.
Like, I don't want to put something together that's like a gimmick, and it's like not us anymore.
Yeah, because like even down to the creation of the podcast, it was like we did it all in a day. I saw him at work one day. I was like, we should start a podcast where we talk about music. Was the original idea. I came over here one day to hang out. We were gonna make this is the crazy, y'all gonna learn some origin story today. We were gonna make a song, and it was my idea. He wanted to make a podcast. I was like, we should make a song instead. When we got down to it, we were both like, vibes are off. He caught it first, and then I was like, yeah, vibes are off. Let's do something else. And then we made the first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, because I was like, music is, like, making music, that's his thing. That's what he
like
wanted to do.
Yeah.
But, like, we were both interested in the podcast thing.
It just happened.
He just like put the music idea out there because I had said that I've technically made a song before. But it's like, music production is something that I wanted to get into a long time ago. I'm not saying like that the idea isn't there anymore, but I don't know what to do with it. And
right.
Like, I don't know anything about production. And I'm sure, like, he taught himself.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't know. I don't know where I want to take it. This is the problem.
So, I propose to you an idea of sorts.
What's that?
I like the original topic of this video, or this podcast, but as you can see, we're at the 1 hour and 20 minute mark.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way that in a reasonable amount of time I'm going to finish describing my childhood and everything, and then you're going to be able to do yours as well. Would you like...
We'll put that on pause for the next episode, which, by the way, just disclaimer real quick before he gets to his idea. We're probably going to be recording multiple episodes today, so
Yeah.
if you see like the next few episodes with these same outfits on,
We just
that's-
didn't shower
that's
for
why.
weeks. Yeah, we literally sweaty swamp balls on this same couch for decades. Just same fit every time, like cartoon characters. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if we actually did that. You wear that hoodie all the time, though, so you actually might just do that like IRL. Not
Yeah.
saying like
I think
sweaty
I wore
swamp
this
balls.
hoodie the last time you were
Yes,
on.
but y'all didn't see that, though. Y'all didn't see that. Do you want to go ahead and cut this one off, start a new episode, and
Was that your idea?
yeah,
I
just
thought we were gonna
trail the-
transition to a small topic.
this is already an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's already pretty long. So we should do. I think we should do a two-parter.
All
You
right.
know,
All right.
and I like this. I like how we're doing this on the fly. You know,
Yeah.
make decisions on the fly. It adds. It's a convo.
Yeah, because
guys.
I was about to say, I want the production to get better. Like, we're recording this on an iPhone, and this is like a $10 eBay mic. But I want the production to be our choice. Like, everything about it comes down to us.
Yes.
I don't want anyone working for us making decisions that like we have to approve or whatever.
Right. Maybe an editing team that in the future. Maybe someone that can just upload this stuff for us where we don't have to do it. If we're, just small things, not any decisions, but like someone who is specifically there to make our highlights or something like that. Where we don't have to do it, just streamlining it. Possibly. I'm just throwing the idea out there. Just don't just keep it in the back of your noggin, okay? Don't think, cuz we're definitely not hiring anyone soon. Don't no. Unless we're making 12 figures, dude. I'm not hiring nobody, dude. We better be rich before we do that shit. Fuck all that.
Well, I'm saying, like, okay, if somebody makes clips for us, then we'll have to check what the clip is.
Obviously. Yeah, I'm
It's
just
like-
saying we get them to put the clips together instead of us. Because obviously me and you aren't the most talented at video editors. There's probably someone better than us. More than likely, though there is, for sure. And they could make, the clips more interesting. Add, music.
I mean, I guess.
and subtitles. Things I could
It's just-
do. I just don't feel like doing.
Okay, if we get people to do things for us, it has to be in our vision. Like,
Right. Yeah.
100% of it needs to be what we want it to be.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not saying, anything different. So, anyways, guys, I guess we could count this as a two-parter. I guess this will trail into part 2.
Well, I mean, it'll be episode 2, part 1, and then episode 3, part 2.
Of the next Yeah.
I guess.
So, I guess we'll go ahead and end this off right here. Thank you guys so much for listening. We appreciate it so much, no matter where you're from, no matter what you do, no matter your skin color, sexuality, gender. We do not care. Thank you so much for sticking with us and being a friend of the podcast. Once again, my name is Jordan Ford, and I'm here with my co-host and co-worker.
Joshua Eubanks. And we hope that you all had a fun time listening and
And watching.
enjoy the rest of your day.
Yep. And we'll see you guys in probably 30 seconds because we're going to record the next part. So see you guys later. Deuces.